Peace. I'm your brother Crumb, and you are now watching Crumb TV.
Brother Red Pill representing Know the Ledge, one half of the Twin Pillars. I am here rocking with Crumb TV.
No, you are watching Crumb TV.
You can find me on Crumb TV.
You can catch me on Crumb TV.
This is Chief Kalanago here at Crumb TV.
I am Joy Allen of the Memoirs of a Karmic Dynasty in the Crumb TV studio.
Honored to be on your program, brother.
Peace.
Peace.
Crumb TV.
If you could, please repeat after me. Peace, Ashe, Islam, Namaste, Hotep, Grand Rising, Assalamu alaikum, walaikum salam, bum dia, Oseo, Halito, Wagwan. What up, though? Shalom. Rahubat. Salam. Que pasa? What up, though? I don't know if I said that already. Jumbo. Arigato. Ni hao. How are the children? Whatever the greeting is in your respective language, I am your humble brother Crumb here for another installation of Crumb TV. You already know what it is, family. This video is called Nimrod Decoded. But before I get into all of that, I want to do what I do best, and that's put some respect in your name by acknowledging the first responders. Now, there are more than 20 first responders in the first minute and a half, but I'll only do the first 3 for the sake of time. We call that the perfect trifecta. So let's see who we got. Number 1 spot. It's Clarissa Thomas. She says, Ashe. I think you've never been a first responder, so I'm glad to have you in the building. I see you, love you, I appreciate you. Number 2, Monique Hill. It is my moderator from the West Coast. Put some respect on her name. She says, Crumb. Number 3 in the building, if I can count, is Mama Sekmet. She says, Grand Rising, family. We saying Grand Rising back. I see you, I love you, I appreciate you. With that said, let me just acknowledge some more. T. Kosi says, peace, I'm seeing you, I'm appreciating you, glad to have you in the building. Also, Leonard Lassiter Bay says, greetings, Royal. We're saying greetings back. He says, greetings, Royals. But yeah, so with that said, let me do a little introduction thing and introduce my good brother, D. Calico. Peace and love, brother. How are you? Just unmute your mic.
What's going on, family? How you doing, brother?
All is well. All is truly well. Brother, can you tell the family who you are and where we can find you at?
Hey, you already know it's the neighborhood etymologist. And if you're watching Crumb TV, yeah, you know all about etymology. So, you know, get to know your brother. You know what I mean? And you can only find me on Crumb TV.
Gratitude, much gratitude. So yeah, I wanted to try to take this couple of minutes, or our first 5 minutes, to do the housekeeping thing. And that's where we just kind of, for the master students, you already know what it is. When you first come in the building, hit that like button. If you are live, you'll also type something in the comments, maybe 666-777-111, whatever the case may be. Or we're going to do something new. If you're a master student and you're first in the building, or you're catching this, whenever you catch it, drop your favorite emoji. Drop your favorite emoji. So that's how we kind of check in. We call that housekeeping. It's like wiping your feet before you walk in the house. Drop your favorite emoji and hit that like button. Also, comment, family. You know, the comment would be the emoji. Or also, well, I'm sorry, not or, but in addition to that, subscribe, family, not just here, but on my website, crumbtv.info. That's right, family, crumbtv.info. Now, we are ahead of the game, which is always a good thing. So I say, you know, we just cut the intro short and let's get right to it. Nimrod, brother, where do we start?
Yeah, you know, like Nimrod is a character that's definitely been demonized. And you know, over here at Crumb TV, we kill all spookism. Right. You know, next time I say that, I want y'all to, you know, finish that sentence for me. You know what I mean? Because that's what we've been doing for years and we'll never change. You know what I mean? So we come to kill all spookism, death to spookism. When you say Nimrod, people take it as an insult if you were to be called a Nimrod. But y'all know me. Anybody know me and Crumb? We've been Nimrods. We've been representing Nimrod for a long time because we understand him to be the master builder. You know.
Yeah. I don't have a problem being a Nimrod. I don't have a problem being a bastard. I don't have a problem being a moron. You know, I don't have a problem being a demon. I don't have a problem with any of that. Yeah.
A racist.
Come on, I don't have a problem being racist. No problems at all, family. Let's get right into it. Nimrod's secret identity.
Yeah, you know, like it's been a lot of symbology that you've accepted. But then, you know, when you get the real meat and potatoes, it scare you. You know, you be like, oh, I don't like Nimrod. Oh, Cupid. You know, so we're gonna show you some secret identity to Nimrod.
So Nimrod, as you were saying, Cupid is depicted with a bow and arrow, just like Nimrod in the pictures we've showed previously. A reminder of Nimrod being a mighty hunter. Oh, because Cupid was hunting for. Oh, I get it. Okay, yeah. That makes sense.
You know, whenever they Christianize something, we love it to death.
Wow,
you know?
There you have it, Christianized.
But I love the the thug version. You know what I mean?
Okay. Continue.
Yes, sir.
Nimrod deified ancient Nineveh artifact. The founder, let me just take this thing because I can't see past it. Let me just move this real quick. Boom. The founder of the city of Babylon is Nimrod Bar Cush, or son of Cush. According to Genesis chapter 10, verses 8 through 12. And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, and Calnet, in the land of Shinar. Out of that land went forth Asher, and builded Nineveh, and the city Rehoboth, and Calah. The same is a great city. What do you make of this, brother?
Yeah, it's like giving a one person credit for New York City, Philadelphia, Chicago, all these metropolises. You feel me? Because when we speak on civilizations, these were the major civilizations of that time. So for him to have not only, been the overseer of these lands, he was literally the builder. He was the master builder of these great civilizations.
Powerful. Wow. Oh, also, yeah, and it says right here at the bottom left-hand corner, Nimrod's birthday, December 25th?
Yeah. They're going to definitely get deep into this, as even this Nimrod image shows him carrying a fawn or a deer.
Right, a reindeer. That's powerful.
Yeah, so it's going down. And it looks like he was the one taking flight. We thought the reindeers were flying. It looks like, Nimrod took flight.
Come on, somebody. All right, so the Assyrian king Shalmaneser the first built up Kalhu, or Nimrod, into a major city during the Middle Assyrian Empire. Did I read that right? Down at the bottom, it says King Asher's son, Shalmaneser the third, continued where his father left off. And at Nimrod, not Nimrod, at Nimrod, he built a palace that far surpassed his father's. It was 2 times the size, and it covered an area of about 5 hectares or 12 acres, and included more than 200 rooms. He built the monument known as the Great Ziggurat and an associated temple.
Yeah, this is the decoding. Basically, I probably should have told you all that. Nimrod. As far as my research goes, I'm basically showing you that he literally existed. Because if you read in the Bible and you hear about the size and the hectares and the greatness of this ziggurat that he built, then you can only associate it with someone of that time that did the exact same thing, and that would be the son of Ashurnapal, which is Shalmaneser. So if we think this didn't really happen, it really happened. So, and literally they call this place Nimrod to this day. So we're showing you also that, vowels are interchangeable. You're going to see the temple of Nimrod. We're going to get into all that in here. Just like we know Nimrod, it's still no difference.
Wow, powerful. Semiramis.
Semiramis.
Semiramis, thank you. Let me see, can I pull the other one up? I can't quite see like I want to. All right, so the mother and wife of Nimrod / Baal, she was called Ishtar, pronounced Easter or Estre in English, Astarte, Ashtaroth, and Isis in Egypt. Now Mary, according to the Catholic Church. After Nimrod's death, Semiramis claimed that she saw a full-grown evergreen tree spring out of the roots of a dead tree stump, symbolizing the springing forth of new life for Nimrod. On the anniversary of his birthday, she said Nimrod would visit the evergreen tree and leave gifts under it. The Nimrod tree. On each anniversary of his birth, Nimrod would visit the evergreen tree and leave gifts upon it, according to The Plain Truth About Christmas by David J. Stewart, December 24th, 2005. What do you think, brother?
Yeah, we definitely got to get you all familiarized with the legend of Nimrod. The legend of Nimrod is always going to be associated with the great mother, Semiramis. Some people are more familiar with Ishtar, or maybe one of the other titles that she carried. But Semiramis is that great mother that literally, helped with the process of bringing them back, like the Set and Osiris story, or how we know it, Isis and Osiris. Yeah, that same story of the father who disappeared before he could actually make a child. This same story is the Nimrod story, where the son is the father. The resurrection story is literally the father being reincarnated. So, just to get you all familiarized. So even when I brought up Ashurnapal, that would literally have been Nimrod, but Shalmaneser would have been the reincarnation to a degree, same way like this story.
Semiramis, Samu Ramat.
Yep.
Was the queen regent of the Assyrian Empire who held the throne for her young son, Adab Nirari III, until he reached maturity. She is also known, most notably, as Semiramis.
It's matter of fact, I want you to go to the next one. It should also be about Semiramis, so I can make a good comment. There we go.
Samu Ramat. Number one, Assyrian queen. Number two, Semiramis accompanied her husband into battle, greatly expanded Babylonia's control over neighboring territories, irrigated the flatlands between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, and modernized the capital Babylon, including the famous gardens.
Yeah, we see a name like Semiramis. We're used to the Mat. We're used to that being Mayat, so we got that, right? But we're not paying attention to the entire name. She's literally the samurai of a woman. That's why she's Semiramis. This is why not only, this is part of the reason Nimrod was so great. I compare her to, the woman on Belly that took out Ox. All these men tried to, put him away. They done tried to take him out like Tony Montana. 100 men couldn't do it. And then we go this woman, who can, sneak in and come from behind and just slice his throat. She was that samurai of a woman. That's why we have the term or the name Semiramis to describe her.
All facts, no fiction.
This is where they get the Xena warrior princesses. And yeah, they're not saying that Nimrod, he had a real queen with him. They just want us to be single mothers and single fathers, even anciently speaking.
Right.
Yeah.
Inanna and Dumuzi had connected at Marduk's wedding. This is the first Romeo and Juliet story. Follow me, family. Tamuzi, also known as Dumuzi, was the name of an ancient Near Eastern deity who was best known for his patronage of herdsmen and his romantic entanglement with Inanna, the Sumerian goddess of sexual love, also known as Astarte or Ishtar. As a fertility god, he represented the insemination of the mother goddess as well as the production of healthy children. The best known myth of Tammuz describes his death at the hands of his lover, a punishment earned for his failure to mourn adequately when she became lost in the underworld. The god's sojourn among the dead was commemorated in various forms of human expression, including poetic laments and ritual practice. In his Syrian iteration, Tammuz was incorporated into the Hellenic pantheon of Adonis, a beautiful youth who earned the love of Aphrodite. The concepts of death and resurrection are tied to the myth of Tammuz, which foreshadowed the central role of resurrection in the religion of Christianity. Hit that good unmute button. Unmute button. Let me know what you think.
Yeah. The whole thing about going into the underworld, is the Romeo and Juliet story. We just don't have those type of intricacies to know what happens after she passed. We just know that something drove. Who was it? Who died first, Romeo, or was it Juliet that passed? Either way,
yeah.
Either way, we don't know what drove that person beyond love, to also drink of the poison. You feel me? And in this story, it's saying that, he literally had contact with her, at least mentally, spiritually, to the point that, she helped guide him down here too. Like, hey, I done transgressed. I done came down here. You up there just crying. You need to do the same thing and bring, come back down here with your twin flame. You know what I mean?
Right.
Be reunited. But yeah, this is an ancient story, Dumuzi and Inanna. We know him as Tammuz also. This is literally the ancient Christ. During Jesus' time, even Jesus would have been praying to Tammuz or Dumuzi. Dumuzi was the ancient Christ.
Dumuzi, aliases, Tammuz. Tammuz,
Mm-hmm.
Damu.
Where we get Thomas, so it means twin. Just like we know Jesus, Joshua and Joshua, Joseph, and all this, different ways of. Like, matter of fact, we got the book of Thomas and we got the book of Joshua. Thomas meaning twin and Joshua is Joshua.
Teach.
We get Yahshua. Location:
Mesopotamia, otherwise known as Iraq, and Canaan, otherwise known as Palestine. Cities, I'm not reading all these cities. Yeah, I guess I will. Bad Tabira, Kuara, the city of or Uruk, Haran, Byblos or Babel, Bethlehem, the house of Ham. Estimated date 2500s to 900 AD. His name means true son, faithful son, living son, or risen son. This is your first Jesus, folks. Tap in. Dumu means son, or Z means true and faithful, or living or risen. This is your first Jesus, family.
Yep.
Tap in. Number 2. He is a shepherd and a fisherman. Sound like anybody you know? Anybody? Dumuzi is referred in myth as the shepherd, just as Jesus, the good shepherd. The Sumerian king list refers to one, Dumuzi, as the shepherd and another as the fisherman, a symbol also used for Jesus' disciples who are described as fishermen who were then called by Jesus to become fishers of men. Very cute, Jesus. Number 3, his wife is associated with Venus, which is linked to an earlier falling/dying god that Jerusalem is named after. Dumuzi's wife, Inanna, whose name means Lady of Heaven, is identified with the planet Venus, whose astral movements are symbolized in myth by Inanna's death and resurrection. Inanna tries to take over the queendom, not the kingdom, the queendom of the dead for her sister, Urshigal.
Yeah, Erishkigal.
Erishkigal.
Yep. Like I know we see the word Kegel. You know what Kegels are?
Kegels, is that like the vagina workout or something?
Yes. And you know, this is where we get the incubus succubus type of knowledge from. You know, Erishkigal. She would probably put it on you in your sleep, is what they're saying, or in the spiritual realm. You know, she's that great mother.
Right.
Yep. And
Inanna,
go ahead. My bad. We almost done.
Inanna tries to take over the queendom of the dead from her sister, Erishkigal, removing more and more of her regalia. So
Exactly. Wouldn't she you know, be coming out of some clothing? You know, her regalia. She's a rich gal. You know, she's a risky gal. However you want to put it. But but if we notice, it's literally saying, you know, everything that I say, like Tammuz is being an ancient Christ, but it's giving you a timeline. It says what, 2500 BC, and for some reason, there's a cutoff point around 900 AD. So all throughout what you call Jesus, it was still all about Tammuz until that point. All of a sudden, around 900 AD, you know, Tammuz is phased out for the new guy, Jesus.
Factory. All facts. Okay. 15. Let's move along. He carries an ivy wand topped with a pine cone, just as Jesus is depicted using a wand to enact miracles. Let's go deeper.
Deep.
Tammuz is depicted carrying a tharsus, a staff or wand with ivy and a pine cone on the end, identical to one carried by Dionysus. The use of a wand is somewhat similar to multiple depictions of Jesus raising Lazarus or turning water into wine using an augur's wand. That was common among the Roman priestly class.
Yeah, you know, Jesus is what? A magi.
A magi.
You know, and it's all stemming from who we really get the story from. We really get it from Tammuz. So Tammuz or Dumuzi, because you know D means God. That could be a whole nother video. You know, it's gonna happen.
Teach.
You know, and you know I'm D Calico, but anyways, you know, literally D meaning God. So even when you saying Dumuzi, you know what I mean, it's obviously Umuzi. You feel me? And you gotta put respect on his name, so we put the D. You know what I mean? And that's going for many other names that we probably not paying attention to. But Tammuz or Dumuzi, you know, like I said, whenever they put in that T, they just normally Christianizing a word. You know, this is how they, you know, literally Christianizing, especially when you see a lowercase t. It's not many words that I can see with a lowercase t that I feel it belongs. You can say that same word without that letter.
Well,
just start to pay attention.
Remember, the D and the T are the same letter, and and this is going to come naturally. That's why you don't go to the store.
Cut this light on.
You go to the store.
Yeah, we go to the store. We're going to the store, like you said. Yeah, we ain't putting that T on.
But this is the thing. The connection between the D and the T is the same connection between dental and tooth. Oh, Crumb, dust store. Y'all really hood. Okay, fine. Well, tell me about dental and tooth. Yep. Tell me about desk and table. The D and the T are the same. That's why when you get Adonai, which we just read, which is the Hebrew name for God, Adonis, it's Ayin. The D is the T, but I digress. We've beat that horse before. Let's continue on. Is that okay?
Yep. Hey, but if we can go back to that image real quick, just to also, spur something that they're gonna have to pay attention when we come back to it. But when you're looking at those bumps on the shoulders of Dumuzi, number one, this is a primordial being. You see the primordial brain. You know what I mean? We're seeing the elongated skull. We are the reptilians, and this is going to be part of it. And we're going to show you the great mother, the true great mother, Big Mama. Y'all would be scared of Big Mama because, y'all haven't killed the spookism. You know what I'm saying? Y'all haven't killed the spookism, and y'all still go along with the old god being the new devil. So the old goddess would be that great serpent. And it's going to be a good, Easter Sunday or something. We might break that down for y'all.
Give me just a second, just 1 second. You said the old God is the new devil. Drop a bomb for me. The devil, that's a new devil. The new devil ain't nothing but an old God. Y'all better tap all the way in. D Calico has taken the gloves off. All right, brother, shall we continue?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hey, just like we got the de jure, they go that D again. You know what I'm saying? We got the de jure form of government. Like, this is literally the de facto form of godhood. You know what I mean?
Damn, Gina.
Yeah. And this right here, they can't handle it. It's de jure. It's the pure. It's the original way.
According to a Jewish law from the book of Deuteronomy, however, I'm sorry, I think I should have. No, okay, I'll skip that.
Hey, and don't forget that wand had what on it? A pine cone.
A pine cone.
We're still talking about Nimrod. We're still talking about that Nimrod tree, that Christmas tree. It's still going down.
Oh, the pine tree.
Yes, we get into the magic of it all.
Right.
Yeah, it's evergreen. It's forever green.
Right, and at the top of the pine tree is the top of the Christmas tree is a star. Because this is a pine needle tree.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's basically like a giant wand. You know what I mean? Because you would make a wand, a smaller version of that. You use a branch off that tree and add the pine cone or the star to the end of it, making it a wand.
Teach, Muhammad.
Lazarus was risen. I'm gonna just add that yeah.
However, the earliest reference to Jesus's death in the epistles probably comes from the 1 Corinthians 2:6, in which Jesus is said to have been killed by the archons of this eon, the powers of this age, realm, or plane, which can mean either mortal rulers or elemental demons. Tomato, tomato. Only in the late 2nd century epistle, the first epistle of Thomas, does Jesus get crucified by Pontius Pilate. Pontius Pilate. Revelations 2:7 and 22:2 uses the tree of life as a symbol of messianic salvation. The 3rd century theologian Origen said, and I quote, "Scripture describes Christ as a tree." A 3rd century Christian poem by Pseudo-Cyprian and the 4th century bishop Cyril of Jerusalem associated the cross to the tree of life in the middle of the world. Tap in, brother. What do you think? Oh, wrong button.
Yes, sir. That's fire. And to say that Christ will be a tree, we know the word for tree. Like, once again, we say that T. If I'm going to go the opposite of the T, what letter do I have to go to?
Got to use that D.
I got to go to the D, the original, right? So the tree, the original word is a Drew, D-R-U. D-R-U means tree. So we're talking about the Druids. Jesus was a Druid. Jesus was a tree hugger. Jesus got the knowledge from nature. Tap in. Or should I say Tammuz? Demuzi. Yeah.
Absolutely. Dumuzi, attacked by demons under the great apple tree of Kaluba. Let me just focus in. Can't really see it. I'm gonna take that off. They followed her to the great apple tree in the plain of Kulaba. There was Dumuzid, clothed in a magnificent garment and seated magnificently on a throne. The demons seized him there by his thighs. Holy Anana wept bitterly for her husband. 4 lines fragmentary. She tore at her hair like esparto grass. She ripped it out like esparto grass. You wives who lie in your men's embrace, where is my precious husband? Your children who lie in your men's embrace, where is my precious child? Where is my man? Where is my man? Where? Brother, what do you make of this?
I'm not overly caught up on as far as every Dumuzi story. So that's pretty much like how, to me, it sounds like how where they get to Jesus being tempted and taken, the devil took him away for 40 days and 40, they just make it real soft and gentle in the Bible, but this is more so along the lines of how ruthless it may have been.
Teach. Okay. And next we just have a picture. What say you?
Yeah, just showing you more of Shalmaneser and or matter of fact, Adad Nerari the third.
Come on, somebody.
And using his evidence to help further prove Nimrod or any existence of what the Bible or this historicity speaks of. We want to bring a little reality to it. So this is this is gonna make us tap into the Assyrian Empire with Adad Nerari the third.
Adad Nerari III was the son of Samurai.
Samurai, yeah.
Samaramat, a king of the Assyrian Empire, and reigning roughly for about 800 to 782 BC. The Sabas stele of Adad Nerari III recorded some of Adad Nerari's campaign, was discovered in 1905 in the Sinjar Mountains of Syria. Why is this important?
This is also like the first time we ever did Nimrod. This is like Nimrod reloaded, decoded. This is 2.0, honestly, because me and Crumb did this probably 4 years ago. And when I went on it then, I had only uncovered Adad Nerari, as being a possible, replacement for who Nimrod honestly was. As far as when you judge a man by his character, did you do what they say Nimrod did? Did you build what they, did you have the wife or anything of these sorts? Like, I want to see something to connect you with Nimrod. And here goes Adad Nerari once again, because he's literally the son of Samaramat, who I'm saying is the wife of who we would consider to be, Nimrod. So, he's going to help us uncover it a little bit more in the Saba stele. Like, we got to study the steles. If we're going to, like, anybody who ever talked about the Bible and has never looked at one stele, like when I say the word more is in BC time, it's way before Christ. It's in the Palermo stele. When we say stele, it's like saying steel. This is, the same stuff that we think Moses was bringing. We think Moses brought those tablets. Yeah, he was bringing a stele. So this is literally where you got to get the real information from.
Teach. To the god Nebo, who is heroic, exalted, surpassing in wisdom, mighty prince whose command is supreme, master of the arts, guardian of all heaven and earth, all-knowing, whose ear is open, who writes the books of man's life and destiny, merciful, approachable, who depopulate and repopulate the land, determines the boundaries of man's habitation. Lord of lords, whose might has no equal, without whom no counsel is given in heaven, merciful, compassionate, kindly forgiving. Trust in the God Nebo. Do not trust in another God. Trust Nebo alone. Statue of Adad Nerari III, 804. What say ye, brother?
Yep. So obviously I'm showing you that Nebo is the god of Nimrod. You know, during this time of Nimrod, literally, and you notice in the fez on their heads and everything, you know, every time we say it like Akkadians, people don't know these are just traditional names. When they say Akkadian, they're not Akkadians. They are the Amoru. Tap in. They're Moors. They're literally the Amoru. You feel me? So you see the fez on the head. And like I'm saying, this was the god of that time. The god of that time was Nebo or Nabu. And if you noticing, this god Nebo is literally the god of writing, the god of wisdom, so much, so on and so forth, that you have to understand that this is Tahuti. This is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with Tahuti around the world, you know, still to this day.
Powerful. He is referred to as Nebo in the Bible, where he is mentioned with Marduk called Bel. This is all in the book of Isaiah, chapter 46, verses 1 through 2. Mount Nebo, the site from which Moses looked down upon the promised land, and where, according to legend, he is buried, takes its name from Nabu. Brother, is it so?
Watch this. You know, Moses literally never made it to the promised land. It's just like saying Martin Luther King had a dream. If we live in that dream, he never made it to that, you know, period of time or to that part of the world to see that. But the same thing goes for Moses. Moses never made it to the promised land. Like he literally from this high point could see the promised land, but he never made it there. Where did he get the revelations from? Where did he get the talent from? Where did his people dwell and he lived and died? Mount Nebo. He was literally right there with the God of wisdom. That's why he came out with writings. Where would you get all these writings from? You dealing with the God of wisdom, the God of writing. You dealing with Tahuti. You on his mountain and not realizing who bless you. I'm sure he knew. We just don't know because the story has never been told or, you know, broken down.
So Mount Nebo is the burial place of Moses, and he was buried somewhere in his vicinity.
Right there. Yep. Literal images right there of the, you know, some place that you would never be able to touch because they literally set up a church on Mount Nebo. There is a Mount Nebo Episcopal church or something like that to that degree. It's literally a church set up on that mountain, and it's a sacred site of Moses' grave you would never touch. You would never see. It's deeper. It's just like going to the Grand Canyon. You're not going in there. You know, you could just speculate from the outside. At least they're showing a picture because in Grand Canyon, you're not even going to get a picture.
Wrong one. Shots fired. You can't even look at a picture of the Grand Canyon.
Yep.
Y'all better stop playing. All gas, no brakes.
Yep.
Similar.
I was just going to say before that, you know, before you get in this, that it's crazy how, no, next page. It's just crazy how we all somehow through our history, we've always been like kind of interested in being a Rolling Stone. You know, Rolling Stone has always been kind of popular, even though we don't have to like rock and roll, but something about being a Rolling Stone, I think we all, you know, most of us were interested in being something of that nature, right? But this is the most famous or the real Rolling Stone that we finna touch on.
Similar to the Rolling Stone that sealed the tomb of Jesus, this is the holy stone that covers the tomb of Moses, which is located atop Mount Nabu or Mount Nebo, a biblical which had a biblical significance for being the place where God showed the promised land to Moses. Mount Nebo is one of the holiest sites in the modern day country of Jordan. Elements of Byzantine basilica were uncovered and have been incorporated into the structure of the modern church building known as the Memorial Church of Moses. What's going on here, brother?
Yep, this is that exact church I was speaking of, and it's called the Memorial Church of Moses. I was just, trying to give you a roundabout when I said, it's something like the Episcopal Church of Moses, but it's literally the memorial. Why would it be? Because this is where the body lay. This is where they memorialize Moses atop Mount Nebo, not atop Mount Zion, not atop any other mountain that you might think has significance. Mount Nebo, the God of writing, where he received these tablets. We're talking about Tahuti. The ancient world honored, the great Tahuti. You have to if you're going to delve into wisdom or honor wisdom.
Shall we continue?
Yes, sir.
The Tau, the sign of life, the cross of the ancient Chaldeans and Egyptians. At times joined with a circle to indicate Tammuz's relationship to the sun. This sign was believed to have magical powers and worn as an amulet over the heart. Initiates into the mysteries may have been baptized with the sign of this cross.
And we're talking about that Tar, because that's also a part of the name Tammuz. We're talking about Tammuz. You feel me? Which we dealing with this Ankh, which is a Tar. What we call the letter capital T is a Tar, and a top is truly the Omega symbol, which represents life. But they're saying also the sun, which of course represents life. So, in conjunction, this represents one particular mystery school. And this is what they're saying. They're saying that initiates into the mysteries have been baptized, with this sign of the cross. So basically all mysteries sit atop or start with the tar, whether it's a cross, whether it's a tar with a plank on top, like me and my brother Crum was speaking of, what you call a cross, you have a plank on top of the tar, and we know, like we say, walk the plank, that's why the cross represents death. You feel me? Like we have life atop this, but if you have just that straight line, that's a plank, you're walking the plank. And if you just have the tar, you're still, no matter which one you have, you're dealing with a mystery school, so just, choose wisely.
According to the book of John, chapter 3, verse 14, it says, as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, so must the Son of Man be lifted up. The tar was considered to be a symbol of healing, demonstrated by Moses when he held up a towel with a bronze serpent wrapped around it, and all those who gazed upon it were healed. It is similar to the caduceus insignia used by doctors and chemists today.
Yep. I always love to point out the fact that let's say you hurt your leg or anything, a spider bite. It was me, I had a spider bite, anything like that one time. Let's say you go to the doctor, your leg hurt, anything, and they're gonna give you graham crackers and apple juice. You know what I mean? Maybe give you a little Tylenol or something, ibuprofen or something, and they're gonna send you back home. And somehow all that cold AC, them graham crackers and apple juice, you go home, you feel better. You be like, I don't know what, why did I feel better? You're not paying attention to the signs or the symbols. When you go inside these hospitals, like I say, you go to a St. Joseph or a Saint, these Catholic hospitals, or basically all hospitals. Inside your room, behind that door, atop the door, there'll be a caduceus symbol, or all throughout the buildings that you've been walking in. You've been seeing it on the back of the paramedics and everything. This symbol did you more justice than anything, but we're gonna just say it was the hospital. Because you know the doctor didn't do anything to you. It wasn't the graham crackers or the apple juice. Huh? It's literally the same thing it's been for thousands of years. It's the symbol that healed us. Huh? Just like you can use snake venom, to literally heal. Something about the literal symbol itself heals.
Powerful. Wow. Well, there you have it. Pagan Christmas. The true meaning of Christmas. King Nimrod, the Lord of Xmas. And it reads, the Yule log is the dead Nimrod, human ruler of ancient Babylon, who was eventually deified as the sun incarnate and hence a god. The Christmas tree is mystical Tammuz, the slain god come to life again. This is the true origin of the Christmas character we know as Santa Claus, who brings gifts underneath an evergreen tree every year on December 25th, which is very similar to the ruler Nimrod and his son Tammuz. Nimrod, the son of God reborn, on December 25th was the birthday of Nimrod, and here we have a real origin of the Christmas tree. As you can see above, it says it began with a snake and a tree. Brother, what do you say?
Yeah, we can go to the next one because it's just helping build up the same point.
All right, all gas, no brakes. The modern Christmas tree originated in Germany, but the Germans got it from the Romans. That's right, family, who got it from the Babylonians and the Egyptians. Tap in. The following demonstrates what the Babylonians believe about the origin of the Christmas tree. It reads, and I quote, an old Babylonish fable told of an evergreen tree which sprang out of the dead tree stump. The old tree stump symbolized the dead Nimrod, and the new evergreen tree symbolized that Nimrod came to life again in Tammuz. Among the Druids, the oak was sacred. Among the Egyptians, it was the palm. And in Rome, it was the fir, which was decorated with red berries during Saturnalia, according to I think that's a comma or that's a period. Frederick J. Hatkins states, the Christmas tree is from Egypt, and its origins date from a period long anterior to the Christmas era. Wow.
Yep, just a little back, history on it. So that we all fully caught up and, diving into the origin of Nimrod, because obviously, this is all a part of the Egyptian empire. People like to think Egypt is just probably, about the size of a small city or something, But when we talk about Afro-Asiatic people, period, all of that was literally Egypt. Even Tartaria, all the way up to where we call Tartaria, was a part of the Egyptian imperium. If you look on old maps, notice those words. You'll literally see it says Egyptian imperium when referring to Tartaria. So that's a long stretch from what we call just Egypt.
I also wanted to point out that this tree that has the reef around it. Let me move this out the way so you can see it. And I'm gonna add my a little branding thing back to the top right hand corner. The tree, it has the reef going around it. I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. What is that called going around it?
I know the tinsel is the other stuff, and it's called it's wrapped around. They know it's wrapped around.
What is that thing you wrap around a Christmas tree? I'm asking.
Yeah, the crowd.
Yeah. No. It was actually garland.
Yeah.
Garland.
Okay. So it's just like the garland that we wear. Yeah.
Garland.
In India, this is what they bless the gods with. Like they put the garlands around the gods, just like when you come to Hawaii, they put a garland around you. They treat you like a god.
So they wrap the tree around with this garland, and that represents a snake going around the tree, just like we see here with that tree stump. And a lot of times, instead of wrapping that garland, what they'll do is they'll wrap Christmas lights around the Christmas tree. This also represents a snake, and this snake is a rainbow serpent. And this is the same thing. This Christmas tree with the Christmas lights and the garland going around it, this is the exact same Christmas tree in the Garden of Eden with the snake going around it. Go back to the Garden of Eden. There was a tree and there was a snake going around the tree.
Hey,
this is your Christmas tree. Keep going, brother.
Hey, I was just going to say, go back to Crumb TV 5 years ago, or way back since YouTube. Like the first person I ever heard say rainbow serpent and break it down is none other than, the God Crumb. You know what I mean? And I'm talking about 5 years ago. And I like how he reiterates things because he know it going over y'all head. So he had to bring it back. He had to bring things back like almost every year because y'all don't know it. He said it 5 years ago. Y'all just don't know that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's deep. Shall we continue?
Yes, sir.
That's the origin of Santa. This is Muhammad Ali. And of course, we see Taj Tariq Bey saying, "Yep, you right, Calico." That's funny. What's going on with this guy?
Hey, because literally, I felt like I can hear him saying that, especially since I've known Taj. I dealt with Taj, and having a conversation like this, I just bring words like that out of him. He'd be like, "Yep, you're right, Mohaleb." That's my appellation, but y'all know me as D Calico. So yeah, you're right, Calico, and I'm pretty sure a wise man like Muhammad Ali would have agreed also. So I'm letting him speak to y'all from the spirit realm. But yeah, he'll tell you if he was here right now, that is the origin of Santa. So we're going to keep going.
Okay. It reads, Nicolaitan means a follower of Nicholas. Nicolaitan. Okay, yeah. It comes from two Greek words, Nikos and Laos. Nikos means conqueror or destroyer, and Laos means people. The original Nicholas was a conqueror or destroyer of the people. Some people believe that the original Nicholas was Nimrod, the original Ark rebel who conquered the people and founded a man-made civilization within 2 centuries after the flood, according to Genesis 10:8-12. While he was alive, Nimrod was a mighty hunter before the Lord, according to Genesis chapter 10, verse 9. Nimrod also had other names. One commonly used throughout Asia Minor was Santa. Tap in. Santa Claus is but a shortened form of Santa Nicholas or Saint Nicholas. December 25th, Christmas, originally was Saturnalia or the birthday of Nimrod. Brother, what's going on here?
Yeah, we want you to definitely all know whenever you see a word like Santa, it means saint. So even if we're talking about the Santa Maria, the Pina, the Nina, and the Santa Maria, they're literally talking about Saint Mary. So even time we're saying Santa Claus, we're saying Saint Nicholas. The Claus is coming from Nicholas. So it's all Nick meaning Nimrod. And like I always pointed out, the Crumb, I'd be like, I don't think you can find Caucasians with an afro on their face like that. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, the representation of Nimrod is always, he got to have at least that Jew fro. If he ain't got a Jew fro, then he has no fro. You know what I mean? Santa got to have a fro. You know what I mean? You never seen a 6 ether beard on a Santa Claus. For some reason, it's always, 8, 9 either. For real.
Babylonian headdress. Real men wear fezzes?
Yep, for a long time. Anciently speaking.
So I see Santa here with a fez on, and I see right beside that fez is a literal fez that looks very festival. No pun intended. No, I wasn't even joking right there. And then we see Nimrod over to the far right, sitting quite regally with a fez on, look kind of like Santa's fez.
Yep. And they said the original fez was all white.
All white.
You remember? Because they're saying, how did it get red?
Dipped it in blood.
Yes. So that means before it couldn't have been too dark. It was white, right? So the original wouldn't have been solid red. It would still had that white, you know what I mean? Down to the tassel and all, but it would have still had some red. So we looking at the Santa Claus hat, like it's just like when you're dealing with fruits or vegetables or people, when you're dealing with hybrids and you're creating this, you got to go through stages. You went from being one solid to a two-tone to a one-tone. That just is what it is. The same thing goes for the feds. Yep. Want them to get familiar with all these Babylonian headdresses. I don't think they probably ever really seen it, or if they did, they didn't associate it with anything Christmas or probably anything Nimrod. But anytime you see these hats, this is what it is. We get the soft version that fold over and bend over that we call the Santa hat. But literally the warriors of Nimrod's army in his time, they had that one that was solid metal looking like a Hershey's Kisses that was going to punch, anybody, anyway.
Powerful. Santa's red hat is called a Mithric cap.
Yep.
A Phrygian cap. Pileus or freedman's cap, among other names. The origin of this hat, which is commonly worn at Christmas, is truly bizarre. The Santa hat is molded after the version used in worship at the son of Mithra, used in worship of the sun or Mithra. The Phrygian cap was adopted by freed slaves in Roman times, and thus the cap became a symbol of liberty. A conical cap with the top turned forward, it is often red, significantly signifying circumcision, and is the origin of the bishop's mitre and the Rosicrucian's hat. Brother, we going deep. You gotta talk black to me.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I gotta let my brother PNF know I appreciate certain information, because like when you see a word like Phrygian, you got G-I-A-N at the end. When you got G-I-A-N, we know we're dealing with the word giant. You know what I mean? So literally, when I see like Phrygian, it's like you're probably talking about the friars. You feel me? That's why we get into the Rosicrucians. And my brother also has literally proven how the word rose means more. So that's why the hat is a Rosicrucian's hat. It's red, is meaning the Moors cross. You know what I'm saying? The Moorish cross, the hat of the Moorish cross is what they're really saying. When you're saying like red cross is literally saying Rosicrucian. It's all the same thing. So we always ask who are the, the black, so-called black people that's at the top. They would literally have, at least in the past, been Rosicrucians. To be Rosicrucians means you're a Moorish. Rose meaning more. Or, it gets deep. It gets deep. We just going to show it meaning Nimrod and Santa right this second.
Santa Claus and magic mushrooms, because we've been talking about this whole tree. So let's get into it. The presence beneath the pine or the Xmas tree is the Amanita muscaria, aka magic mushrooms. So if Nimrod is associated with Santa and pine trees, then by occult default, he's also associated with magic mushrooms.
Yep. Yep.
Shall we continue, or you wanna? What do you think, bro?
No, we can keep it going. You know, those are the presents under the tree, no doubt about it. You know, as far as nature is concerned, you know, everything else that we put under the tree is just artificial.
A Yule log cake representing Nimrod. This is the top left corner. Yule log lore, enjoying a simple winter solstice tradition. And it reads to the top right. A tree, let me move this branding out of the way so I can get a clear shot. The tree is interpreted originally by the occult as a phallus.
Yep.
The ornaments as testicles, and the tinsel as semen. The wreath is a vagina, and together they are the fertility symbols. Tap in.
Yep. And you know the tree represents, you know, a phallus because it's literally a log. We call it a log. You know what I mean? So yeah, cat's out the bag. You know. You know, balls, like they say, you know, but you know, the wreath representing that vagina, and we see the red bow, meaning, you know, that there's been some pleasure going on. That's why it's red at the point. But what I'm getting at is, I always say that this wreath that we've always seen around this, you know, time of the year is literally the first do not disturb sign. You know what I mean? That means, hey, don't even knock. Don't come in. You know what I mean? We're busy.
Oh my God. You are so hold on. You are funny to me. That's interesting. Right.
For real though.
Yeah, like, you know, I remember the whole underneath the mistletoe thing. So, you know, this sexual orientation isn't too far off. What say ye?
100.
Absolutely. Let's continue. The ninth reindeer, Rudolph.
Well, you know, we can like everybody here has seen Rudolph. So to have to read that would be like we dealing with a person really from the other side of the world that's just never even seen it or heard of it. So all of you all know about Rudolph, and if you want to know everything that, you know, this details, then you can always pause it, rewind, or whatever, screenshot. But yeah, we know Rudolph as the ninth reindeer.
Right.
And since we talking about Christmas, we talking about Nimrod, we like, hold on, what the heck? If Nimrod represents Santa, then who the hell is Nimrod's Rudolph? Huh? We're gonna get into it.
It has also been suggested that Nimrod tamed a leopard to accompany him on his hunts for animals, just as people today use dogs for this purpose. This could also be where Nimrod got his name. The Babylonian name for leopard was Nimir, and Rod means to subdue. So
like a red nose, like a red nose. She gon' okay. Hey, I'm just saying, you know, I'm kind of throwing y'all off right there, but I'm giving y'all a, you know, interpretation. The first thing that probably comes to your mind when you say a red nose, an animal that's a red. Oh, well, you mean like a red nose pit? Right. Well, Nimrod didn't have a red nose pit. We dealing with this leopard, so we finna tap in.
Yeah, so Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and we know in our time would be equivalent to, you know, because a red-nosed pit, but more appropriately, because it wasn't a reindeer or a pit, you get it. It was actually a leopard, which we can see still falls in line because they have red noses. What do you think, brother?
Yes, sir. And this would have been that, you know, that more special, or the leader of the pack. was that red nose, or who we call Rudolph. Rudolph would have been the leopard in this category. Or anytime we're dealing with Nimrod, we ain't dealing with no little friendly, little harmless deers or fawns. We dealing with his army would have been consistent of leopards. He didn't have to raise a finger. He had a samurai of a wife, like a Xeno warrior princess. He had these, animals on lock. Like he had them all subdued. He had the leopards ready to do his bidding. So, he wasn't nothing to be messed up with. And he took over every land with this tactic.
Yeah, I could imagine, having a leopard, because they are one of the most fiercest predators on, in several different areas, whether, it's a snow leopard, the leopards of Africa, the leopards of South America, so on and so forth. They go pretty hard. So the red-nosed reindeer is actually a red-nosed leopard. Touche, and
a lynx. Let's say a lynx or a little bobcat. Like in certain cultures use these little lynxes, and they got them mean as hell. Like if they throw this lynx at you, man, you in trouble. You know what I mean? So you definitely don't want to see a full-grown leopard. You know what I mean? Really trying to put up a fight, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You don't want to back a little cat in a corner.
Right. Let alone a big cat. And that red-nosed leopard ain't no joke. That's 5 million.
Yep.
Moving on, shall we?
For sure.
The golden treasure of Nimrod. Nimrod was an ancient city of Assyria located in the Tigris Valley of northern Iraq. In the 1980s, an incredible archaeological discovery was made, which was compared to that of King Tutankhamun's, or King Tut. King Tut's tomb in the 1930s. It was the royal tombs of Nimrod. However, not as many people have heard of the treasure of Nimrod as that of King Tut's. This is probably because King Tut's treasure has toured the world since its discovery in the 1930s, while the golden treasure of Nimrod was only recently discovered and exhibited in the Iraqi public for a very short time before war broke out in Kuwait.
Yep. I think all of this helps bring a little credence to the fact that there was a Nimrod. You know what I mean? Like, people could be like, "Oh, King Tut didn't exist." Are you crazy? Like, we got his jewelry, we got his sarcophagus, we have his temples. The same thing going for Nimrod. You know what I mean? We got evidence of the temples, we got evidence in writing, we got evidence in jewelry, we got mountains named after Nimrod. I mean, we got everything to try to bring more credence to him than probably anybody else in the Bible. We showed you that Jesus ain't Jesus, it was Tammuz. You know what I mean?
Factory. Assyria was one of the greatest empires of the ancient Near East around the 14th century BC. Archaeological excavations of other tombs in the mid-1900s revealed ornaments and decorations, but the tombs of the Assyrian queens with their enormous amount of gold were not uncovered until around 1989. The gold artifacts are thought to be around 2,700 years old.
Yes, sir. Like, we tapping in, man. We were going way back. To say 2,700 years ago is obviously saying, this was, about 1000 BC. Let's just say that. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like we're going way back. So it's to be respected more so than anything modern.
Together, the pieces weigh well over 100 pounds and were discovered not far from the legendary city of Nineveh. After being rescued from the flood in a central bank's vault, they were in display again in the Iraqi museum for the public view. Let me go to the other one because I can't quite see it as well as I would like to. And I am ready. Unearthed in 1988 by Iraqi archaeologists, 613 pieces of gold jewelry, precious stones, and ornaments from the height of the Assyrian civilization in 1800 BC conforms the famous Nimrod treasure. The pieces include the queen's golden crown, white marble jars, gold plates, and engraved silver pitchers. Shall we continue?
For sure, man. Like this was the largest, find of jewelry ever, as far as reported, because we've heard about the Kincaid caves over there in
Grand Canyon.
in the Grand Canyon and other places in America that these same families that they say didn't find anything are rich now. So, we can assume that they found a lot and didn't tell us, but out of the things they've told us, only King Tut, his find was larger than the find of Nimrod. This is the largest find of gold or treasure in history. But we don't even know Nimrod could have possibly existed. We don't even know that.
Wow. Touche. Mount Nimrod, or Nimrod, aka Mount Olympus.
Yeah, I call it that. I call it Mount Olympus, but it's Mount Nimrod, or Mount Nimrod. And atop Mount Nimrod, why have we never heard of these great structures that are built upon it? Like they literally had every god, like a Mount Olympus, of all these different gods, anciently, giant heads about the size of, like Olmec head size statues.
Wow. In 62 BCE, King Antiochus I, Theos of
Commagene, like they got common genes.
Commagene, wow,
yep.
Teach. Built on the mountaintop a tomb sanctuary flanked by huge statues, anywhere from 26 to 30 feet, of himself, 2 lions, 2 eagles, and various Greek and Iranian gods such as Hercules, Artagenes, Ares, Zeus, Omormosides, and Apollo, Mithras, Helios, Hermes. These statues were once seated with names of each god inscribed on them.
Yep, and these dirty Arabs came through and left it looking like this. They literally dropped a bomb on Mount Nimrod, trying to destroy those gods. They feel like those gods have been subjugating them. They're scared of these rocks, They're scared of these statues to the point that they feel like this is what's been keeping them down. So they tried to blow it up and destroy it. And as you can see, these things were so large that you still got heads big as the Olmec heads. You know what I mean? This is the remnants. Like the rest of that rock was the body. This was a giant structure of many, fully, like they say, 26 to 30 feet tall statues of the gods. And they had fezzes on, as you can see. And, anytime you got fezzes or big wide noses, it's going to be some people trying to chip off the block.
Wow, very disturbing.
Yep.
40 kilometers north of Kata, Turkey, lies Mount Nimrod, a mountain adorned with the fragments of vast statues built over 2,000 years ago. The stone sculptures once stood nearly 10 meters high and depicted lions, eagles, various ancient gods, and King Antiochus I, Theos, who ruled Commagene from 86 BC to 38 BC. Ruins of the bodies of several sitting figures are visible on the hill above, illuminated by moonlight. Impressive.
Yes, sir.
Well, brother,
I know the people from America can see that one headdress looking like the feathers fawned on top of the head.
Yeah, but, on the bottom left, that guy looks very American.
Yeah, like the statue heads are very similar. How people be like, if people, around the world are the same people, why nobody else got Olmec heads? Like, man, stop it. We was doing this over there too. Why they don't have mounds? They have mounds. It's called a Tel El Ruba, the tail means a mound. We just don't speak their language. So when we saying like a step pyramid, they have a ziggurat. Like, come on, man, stop it. We're the same people. And this is so ancient that you can't play that game. Like, no, they're not. There's no way. It's a little different. Yeah. But it's way before cell phones, way before the newspaper, way before people were able to even describe, like, hey, we got this type of structure. No, people were just somehow, we were either, connected or we just the same people. There's no way. You know what I mean? The information was the same, obviously, because the blueprints showed that, everything came out the same. And I hope y'all enjoyed this, Y'all let the brother Crumb know by hitting that like button, by running them views up. You know what I mean? Even hit up crumbtvads@gmail.com. And get y'all a PowerPoint, man. If you got any family, in the joint and you want them to even be able to tap in on this type of information and knowledge that we got, then go ahead and hit up Crumb TV ads. And, I feel like, I definitely, matter of fact, the first person hit them up, I'm supporting it. I'm going to go ahead and buy your PowerPoint so you can send it to your family or your friend or keep it for yourself. So, first come, first serve. It's on Decoded. Y'all fuck with me.
Brother, before I let you go, can you tell the family who you are and where we can find you at?
Yeah, it's the neighborhood etymologist. No shade to Brother Abdullah. You know what I'm saying? We know he's a god of etymology. But this the neighborhood etymologist, your boy D Calico. And you can only find me on Crumb TV.
That's what it is, family. You heard it first from the neighborhood etymologist D Calico. And in the spirit of MOY, when D Calico comes around, you got to get your pen and your paper, because he's going into the etymology, and whatever it is, he says you can go research that, take it to the bank, all wise, right, and exact. With that said, family, you already know who I am. Your humble brother Crumb, the master student. I want to take a couple minutes to go over some information in terms of the family who has supported and keeps me encouraged to keep on going. I want to just put some respect on your name. Let me see who I got here who supports the Cash App. Let me think. Let me see. Chad, I see you. I love you. I appreciate you. Andrea, she says for gratitude, 333. Okay. Mana Moshe also sent the link. I'll watch that. Will I Am says salute, brother. Crip Jesus, I see you. I love you. I appreciate you. Chris NRA, NRA instructor. Put some respect on his name. He says, blessing, bro. You made me a master student. Woo! Hey, Ruth, the Duke of the Great Lakes. He says, we can we start to move to free GMJ and Othel Wallace? I got to look into that. I'm not sure what he's talking about, but I'm definitely interested. Reginald, he says 2 on the right, 2 on the right, 5 on the left. Or is that 5 on the right, 2 on the left? I'm not sure if I'm looking at it backwards. Teresa, she says, love your platform. So I want to thank everybody who has taken the dollar challenge. It means everything. I'm humbled. I'm honored. I'm privileged. But, I'm not Pastor Pork Chop. That's one thing I'm not. So if you do want to support family, you can also hit that like button. It's free. It's easy. It takes a second. It works well for the algorithm. It's just a good thing. If you appreciate this type of content, it'll help you get more. So yeah, you can do that. Also comment, family. Let me know what you think about this video. Tell me, did we decode Nimrod? Is there more to the stories or something we missed, or were you very impressed? Comment. Let me know what you think. Also subscribe, family, not just here, but on my website, crumbtv.info. That's right, family, crumbtv.info. With that said, I want to leave you the exact same way I came to you. I am your humble brother Crumb, and you are now watching Crumb TV. Peace.
Brother Red Pill representing Know the Ledge, one half of the Twin Pillars. I am here rocking with Crumb TV.
You are watching Crumb TV.
You can find me on Crumb TV.
You can catch me on Crumb TV. This is Chief Kalanago. here at Crumb TV.
I am Joy Allen of the Memoirs of a Karmic Dynasty in the Crumb TV studio.
Honored to be on your program, brother.
Peace.
Peace.
Crumb TV.